Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Perkins, and we are live here in Newport Beach, California, at the Speaking Empire World Speakers Summit. And I tell you what, this World Speakers Summit has brought out the celebrities of every industry, and I have got one of the most intelligent, wonderful, and delightful celebrities here with me today. We've got Tim Zimmerman.
Hello.
And Tim, I know you are the gardener of the mind, but your students often call you the mind surgeon.
Yes.
And that you've got this proprietary system, protocol system, that really helps them overcome their limiting beliefs and move them forward in life. And I know there's a much better way to explain that than I did. Give us a little definition of that, maybe a story or two of how that works and how people can find success.
Okay. My name's Tim Zimmerman. I'm the CEO and founder of SM3Success.com. I'm also a New York Times best-selling author.
Yeah.
So what happened with me is that in how I grew up, my father was an alcoholic. I had 3 older brothers, 2 older sisters, 2 younger brothers, and a younger sister. But how I grew up was I was beat up all the time. And, they look at bullying nowadays. Well, back in the day for us, my brothers called it playing with me, right? And
Yeah.
all of that goes into all of that. But I was very successful in sports. I took my frustrations out on the battlefield of football and wrestling and did very well with that. And as I got into the world, as we mentioned, I got involved in Amway, and that, even though I didn't make any money in Amway, it made me a multi-billionaire inside because it got me into the self-improvement books, Think and Grow Rich, Success with a Positive Mental Attitude, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and all of that type of thing.
Well, and I know that the Dale Carnegie Institute basically recruited you and said, hey, we want you to help us with this section of things too.
Yes, in my early career, I was trained to teach all 5 of the Dale Carnegie courses, and was groomed to take over for the Dale Carnegie Sales Course and Management Seminar in Chicago, for all of Chicago.
Yeah.
Became regional manager at 26 years old, and then decided to do more of the mind development aspect because, as you know, in Think and Grow Rich, it says, as you think you are, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can what? Everyone
Achieve.
can achieve, right?
Yeah.
What's the problem with all of those books, though? They didn't tell you how to do
It's
all
the
of that.
why you should and what you should, but not how you should.
Exactly. So I sought how to do all of that for myself. Went into the Eastern philosophies, studied under 5 yogic masters, went through different empowerments, 5 different empowerments, 2 with the Dalai Lama, studied under Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, Guru Mai, Mother, Paramahansa Yogananda, Swami Rama. So I've done more than most as far as mind development, was involved with advanced Raja Yoga, all of that type of thing. So come to current day, basically what I originally did was I put together a training course that incorporated the success techniques that have been proven to be successful for the last 50 to 100 years, and merged that with the success techniques of mind development that are successful for the last 6,000 years. So I merged those together into a course, and it was very successful. And then a protocol came through me to help people uncover and eliminate and neutralize their negative beliefs and negative self-judgments that were implanted into them by who? By
Our parents.
By their parents and those people around them at the time. And the epiphany for me about this was that we were programmed with this, and by our parents. And how old were our parents when they were programmed?
Yeah.
0 to 6.
Meet babies.
So all the way back through our ancestors, this 6-year-old corrupted program has been passed down and remains untouched. This proprietary protocol, which has 5 specific aspects that nobody else does, actually goes into the unconscious subconscious with you, and I actually train people how to do this themselves, and we eliminate and neutralize the negative weeds of your mind.
Wow.
And I call that pulling and planting. So we pull out the negative weed and then plant the polar opposite. That's why the gardener of your mind comes into play. But it's also mind surgery, and I teach how to do it yourself. So one of the books I wrote is called DIY, Do It Yourself, Mind Surgery, the Advanced Programming Protocol.
You know, one of the things that I really love about what you're saying here is that you pull out the negative thought, but then you replace it with a positive one. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that claim they can pull out the negative, but then they leave that hole, and that hole doesn't know what to do, so it searches for what was there before.
Right.
And it may not be the same negative, but it pulls and finds other negatives to fill it with.
Right, exactly.
And you're not allowing that because you're filling it with good to begin with.
Exactly, because the universe doesn't like a void, so the universe will fill that with something else. Typically, if you pull the weed, what else is there in seeds? Is typically weed seeds. So pulling and planting is the way to do it, and it's really it's more than thoughts, because your belief system is what creates your thoughts. I call it the 5 laws of manifestation. You want me to go through them?
Run through them real fast.
Quickly, okay. 5 laws of manifestation. Your thoughts create the words that you speak to yourself and to other people. When mixed with belief or emotion, helps you make decisions, and then once you make a decision, you can take action or not. Inaction is really inaction, right? I call those the 5 laws of manifestation, because if you take away any one of them, you're not going to consciously manifest, right? So let me ask you this. If you don't think of something, are you going to consciously manifest it? No. If you think about it, but you don't talk to yourself and other people about it, are you going to manifest it? No. If you think about it, talk about it, but you don't believe it, are you going to manifest it? No. If you think about it, talk about it, believe about it, but don't make a decision about it, are you going to manifest it? No. If you think about it, talk about it, believe about it, decide about it, but take no action, are you going to manifest it? No. But get this. So that's 5 laws of manifestation. But where do your thoughts come from? Your thoughts come from your unconscious, subconscious belief system. So you think about something, you talk about it to yourself and other people, you ask your belief system, your unconscious mind, is that right? Your mind says yes. Why? Because it came from there, right? So when we go into the unconscious, subconscious, and pull those beliefs that are stuck, like I'm not good enough, not smart enough, not beautiful or handsome enough, unlovable, when we pull those out and plant the polar opposite, now what happens to your thoughts? They're just automatically more positive.
Right.
So we don't have to be the gatekeeper of our mind as much. Right? I hear applause back there. Yes.
So applauding him.
Right. So it's a matter of doing that. Now we're more positive in the first place, and now we can add more positive on top of it. And my clients, it's an amazing thing for them, because they're out of their own way. They have between a 300 and 3,000% increase in income, typically within weeks. The universe actually pays them back from things that they don't even expect.
Now, seriously, all of us, and I had another mentor, not as awesome as you, but almost. I had another mentor that said basically we were hypnotized at a very early age, and our first hypnotists were our parents, and they were pretty screwed up. They loved us and tried to do their best, but like you said, they're programming us off of their 6-year-old beliefs that they got from their 6-year-old parents' beliefs, etc. And so, what you're doing is beautiful. You're helping us get rid of those things that really aren't real.
Right.
And anyone who knows that you have some belief that may be holding you back a little bit, or maybe you don't know and you're wondering why.
Right.
This is the man to work with.
It's interesting, because typically the individuals I work with are from their 30s to their almost 70s, and they get fed up with, why does this shit keep happening to me? And when they look at it and they realize that, and this is my message to the younger generation, is the first 20 years of your life, according to all psychiatrists, what happened in there, your belief system, especially the negative stuff, because the negative burns into your neuroplasticity deeper than the positive. That's why it's easier to remember the negative over positive. But then the self-judgments of I'm not good enough, not smart enough, not beautiful, handsome enough, and unlovable what happens with that is that your psyche, your ego, acts the opposite of those beliefs to try and overcome the negative feelings, and that's what your personality traits, the 4 basic personality traits, come from. Well, like the not good enough individual, what's the personality trait? That's the A personality trait, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the go-getter. That's the one that needs to do more,
I
be more,
gotta be
have
good
more,
enough. Mm-hmm.
right? Multimillionaires, very successful individuals, especially men, are like that. But guess what? They could have $40 billion in the bank, and what happens? What's their belief? They're not good enough. Nobody's good enough, or they're perfectionists, right? And just like the givers, you probably know a lot of givers. They give to a fault, very disappointed at other people because the other people don't ask them to give. They just give, they see the need and they give automatically. Why do they give? Because they have the unlovable feeling. So at some time in the past, typically in childhood, they felt unlovable or they weren't getting attention from the parents, father, mother, whatever the case may be. So they're giving to try and get love back, right?
Yeah.
And then they get very disappointed because nobody appreciates it,
Yeah.
right? So it's not that anything's broke or that they need to be fixed. It's just stuff that's stuck in the unconscious, subconscious. And we pull those weeds out.
Definitely not broken, but definitely want to get rid of the weeds.
Right. Exactly.
Have a better garden. Still a great garden. Have a
Exactly.
better garden.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. Okay, now you really, seriously, every one of us need to work. We need to work with him.
Well, only 7 billion people.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's 7 billion people. We need to work with Tim. And Tim, how do they get in touch with you so that you can go in and help them and, do your magic with them?
Well, they can go to my website, which is sm3success.com. SM3 stands for Sales, Marketing, Management, and Mind Development. I work with top sales producers, top managers, CEOs, celebrity individuals. Basically I say, I almost offer on my card to say, if you're screwed up and you're screwed up and you want to get unscrewed up, then call me, and I do guarantee results.
I love that. And it is SM3, and that is the number
The
3,
number 3, yes.
not spelled out, but
Exactly.
it's SM3.
Success.com.
All right. Tim, you are an absolute genius and guru in what you do, and I love and appreciate that you're willing to share all of this genius and love with everybody else and help them have a better
Thank
life.
you.
So thank you so much.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Just so you know, this also works on post-traumatic stress. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So if there's any veterans out there or anyone who's gone through something like, I'm from Las Vegas, so something like the October 1st, they call it the 1 October tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
I will work with you for free. So.
You are
Just
so
so you know.
generous and giving. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you very much. Seriously, everybody, contact him. You want to work with him. He is fabulous.
Okay,
I
thank you.
appreciate you being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.